Hello, this is the Panasonic GM1. As you can see, it's a very small camera, and to give you an idea of just how small it is, I've got some others here to compare it to. This is the Fuji Xe2. This is the Fuji X100S, and this is a GX7. Panasonic GX7. As you can see, the GM1 is smaller than all of them by quite a significant distance. It is a very small camera. It's also got a very small kit lens. This is the 12 to 32, which is a collapsible lens, in and out like that. It zooms, it doesn't actually trombone when it zooms, so it's got an internal zoom. Very small lens, very well built. In fact, the whole thing is very well put together. Pretty minimalist in terms of design. As you can see at the top there, you've only got these three buttons. That's a mode dial, the on-off switch, and somewhat strangely, you've got a AF autofocus manual focus selector. You've got autofocus single, autofocus continuous, and manual focus. And of course the camera has focus peaking inside, so you can in fact use it for manual focus. Though if I put on I've got my Voigtlander 20mm lens here, attached to a Nikon adapter. As I think, adapter hasn't got a line up mark. There we go. As you can see, it turns it into a somewhat chunkier camera. And if I put on my Nikon Series E 100mm f2.8, you can see that it gets even bigger and more out of proportion. It balances quite nicely though if you hold the lens. But I would suspect that the thing is going to work better the smaller the lenses you use on it. This works. Obviously the 20mm f1.7 by Panasonic would work very well. I've got, this is on the, where is it? There we are, on the GX7 I've got the Olympus 17mm f1.8. Again, that would work very well. Despite its size, because it hasn't got that many controls, it's actually not that hard to get around. There's you use that wheel there, and again it's not bad because it's at the side of the camera. It's easy to get purchase on it. It's not too small. These are better than I imagined that they were going to be. There's an awful lot, as you know, of touchscreen implementation on it, which at the moment I've got turned off because I'm no great fan of touchscreen. A lot of the stuff is done that way, so an absence of knobs and dials on it. One of the other nice things is it's got an electronic shutter, and the camera is in fact completely and totally silent. Here I'm focusing away, taking the shots, and as you can hear, there's absolutely no sound whatsoever. So in a situation where you don't want to be seen to be taking pictures, or at least taking pictures with what might be regarded as a serious camera, then this is obviously going to work very well. No EVF, of course, not even a hot shoe that you can put an optical viewfinder on, and of course the screen is fixed. You've got no articulated screen there, so you're pretty much stuck with it, using it in the standard compact camera, mobile phone type operation. So you either have to hold it out like that, or whoa, dropped it. Quite sturdy too. You either have to hold it up like that, or as I do, I kind of tend to cushion it with one hand, and when I press the shutter I've developed a way of slightly pushing up against the shutter, so I'm counterbalancing the natural downward movement that you get when you press the shutter down, and that seems to work. I can get quite sharp pictures at quite low shutter speeds. OIS built into the lens, image stabilization, of course. Panasonic mainly use a lens-based system for this. The GX7, they have got some in-body image stabilization in, but it's not that great, to be honest. It's not as good as a dedicated system like you get in the Olympus cameras. Great thing about this thing, of course, is that you're getting the same image quality as on some of the bigger micro four thirds pseudo DSLRs, like the Olympus OMD, the Panasonic GH3. You're getting pretty much, well, I would think, virtually identical image quality to those cameras in something that is extraordinarily small, and should you actually want to do it, something that you can actually completely hide in your hand and carry around, so that nobody can tell what you've got. You can, of course, put it in your pocket, but regular readers will know just exactly what I think of putting cameras in pockets. However, buying it through Jessop's, which I did yesterday, not only did I get the reduced price on the lens, which is actually the bit that I really wanted because I want to use this lens on my GX7, but buying it in this kit it's obviously cheaper, and I can sell the camera on as and when I want to. Plus there's an £80 cashback from Panasonic, plus you get this rather nice leather case thrown in as part of the deal for nothing, so it fits in like that. Obviously doesn't work on lenses bigger than this one, and you get a rather nice carrying case which you can sling over your shoulder. My initial thought was it would make a terrific case and camera outfit for when I'm out cycling. I can just put that over my shoulder, and then when I feel like taking a picture, take the camera out, use it, take the pictures that I want, put it back, lock the case up again, nice and secure over my shoulder, no problem. They are much better than putting the camera in your pocket. Really good. Reminds me of a Leica, one of those Leica badged Panasonic compact cameras I had ages ago. Deluxe 2 or 3, and probably a Deluxe 3, I think. Copy of the Panasonic LX series. It had a case very similar to that, and it worked very well, and I took it around with me for a while. Obviously though, this thing is going to give miles better image quality than that camera did. I used it yesterday. The pictures I got were terrific, both using this camera and using that lens on the GX7. Very impressive, standard sort of micro four thirds stuff. You know, you pretty much know what you're getting with a micro four thirds camera these days, despite maybe some differences in how the JPEGs appear at higher ISOs and whatever. They kind of gradually refine the noise reduction so the JPEGs look a bit better, but pretty much I think virtually every micro four thirds camera I've ever used is pretty similar. From initial look, this looks to be pretty similar to the GX7. I couldn't tell the difference between the pictures I've taken on the two cameras, and that's probably the way it is. It's an interesting concept. It's interesting, obviously, because of its size and because of what it will do in terms of the fact that it's very small. I don't think anyone's going to argue with the fact when I say that this is probably the best quality camera you can get of any camera that is this size. I think that's probably undeniable, because everything else that that you get like this is just going to be a cheap and cheerful point and shoot compact camera. I can't think of anything else that's this small. I had one of the small Fuji compact cameras, and that was bigger than this, and obviously had some bigger lenses as well. I mean, Fuji have only got one very small pancake lens, the 27mm, but that's it. The others are kind of sort of fairly chunky. But this is a tiny, this is really a very small lens, and when it's retracted back into itself, it's the whole thing has got an incredibly small footprint. So there it is. That's pretty much it. Oh, the video is. I shot one frame of the video when I was out yesterday, which I posted on my last post about the camera. I also shot a few more clips last night, and it's very similar indeed to the GX7. Looks again virtually identical. You've got all sorts of nice video options in here, plus you've got the stabilisation of the lens, which means that you can actually hand hold it. Even though it's so small, it would in fact work very nicely on a tripod. For shooting video, it would be great, because that's where the live view screen at the back really comes into its own, so you can actually see what you're doing when you're shooting. My kind of camera, well, maybe not. A little bit too small for me. No EVF, which is a big no-no for me. Using the screen yesterday in pretty dull light, it wasn't great. I mean, it's not as though I was working in absolutely sort of ultra bright sunshine. It was quite hazy, in fact, but I still had trouble seeing it, because these screens are incredibly reflective as well. So it is actually, I mean, I cranked the whole thing up so it's at maximum brightness, and it still wasn't terrific. So I don't like that particularly. It is, consequently, then it gets into a situation where holding the camera is not something I'm comfortable with. I can't brace it by holding the camera against my eye. I can't block out everything else, which is what I like to do when I'm looking through a viewfinder, and just basically see the image that I'm concentrating on. So for me, probably not, but it does what it's supposed to do. It's an extraordinary camera in terms of image quality for the size that it is. It's probably an engineering marvel inside, in that it gets all that stuff in not a lot of space. So if you want something small, unobtrusive, that you can tuck away in a nice leather case rather than put it in your pocket, then this could well be the camera for you. If I do sell it, and I imagine I will relatively quickly, I'll still try and take it out maybe another 1 or 2 times to actually give some impressions of what it's actually like to work with. I mean, at the moment it's fun. I only got it yesterday, so it's still got an awful lot of novelty value, but how long that lasts, who knows. With my past experience with cameras of this size and this nature, that novelty value doesn't seem to last very long. But who knows? This could be the one that convinces me that tiny cameras are the way to go. So there it is, the Panasonic GM1. Thanks for watching.